It is 11:52 p.m. on a Thursday night in November. The only light in the apartment is the lamp burning over the stove. You are 36 years old. A banking app open on your laptop screen reads $268.40. You have no retirement account at all. A notification you do not need to read arrives on your phone because that figure has not left your mind since spring, like a number lodged behind your eyes. On the kitchen counter sits a pan left from last week's meal. Rent clears on the first. In a drawer across the room sits a notebook your father carried for 20 years. The one with a column titled Cushion. You have never opened the cover. Tonight you will. And the moment you do, the arithmetic will already be in motion. Whether or not you watch it, it will keep moving on its way. Level 1. The Honest Page. Age 36. Budget $0. The notebook waits in the bottom drawer, wedged under a half-empty box of birthday candles. Hardback, the cloth cover faded to the gray of old smoke, its corners worn from years of writing in a glove box. Because your father wrote in a small hand, he filled the first 9 pages of the book. After that, it is entirely blank. You go to the kitchen, fill a glass from the tap, and sit down. On the first page of the book, the left column reads Wages. The middle one reads Reserve. The right one, printed in careful capitals, reads for Nora. Nora is your sister. 5 years younger, she bought her own house at 30 because she never skipped the order laid out in your father's book. You skipped it over and over. The figures from your father's hand sit tiny on the page. $38 on a Friday in 1997. $55 in March of 1998. He spent 31 years inside a dye shop in a flat Midwestern town. 3 children, 1 truck, the same house refinanced twice within a decade. He did not reach retirement rich. He retired worn out by life. Yet the column he called Reserve never once dipped below $14, not a single week. On the first blank line, you write the date, November 9th. You write the balance, $268.40. You list the debts, $13,600 on a credit card, $8,900 on a truck you bought to feel like something, $5,100 on an emergency room bill for a wrist ailment you neglected for half a year. You write your retirement total, 0. You stay alone with the book's open page until almost 1 in the morning. The next day at 6:30, you call an old friend named Ray. Ray makes his living in accounting. He grew up where your street begins. He has twin children in 2nd grade and a Civic he refuses to replace. You read him the numbers. You tell him you have no idea which thread to pull first. Ray does not hesitate. He says, open a Roth before lunch, move the car to a 0% transfer, sell the truck, and take my brother's old pickup for $1,500. Finish all 4 this week. By Saturday, you finish all 4. The pickup has 174,000 miles and a cracked taillight. The Roth opens with $50, the lowest amount they allow. The card moves to 0% for 18 months. The hospital bill is set onto a payment plan of $80 a month. You record every line in the notebook. In pencil, in a hand, nothing like your father's, but reaching toward it. This is not humiliation. This is an audit. You are reading your own books for the first time in your life. At level 1, the work is not to earn more. It is to see clearly. Level 2. The first $20,000, age 38. The credit card zeroes out by the May of the year you turn 37. The truck is gone by August. Every morning the pickup carries you to the parts depot of a heating and cooling supplier, where you earn $58,900 a year, plus a $3,600 bonus you once spent on a trip. Not this year. This year, the whole bonus goes into the Roth, and the rest into a new cushion account you named after the column. On the first Monday of March, when you turn 38, the page looks like this. Roth, $12,100. Emergency money, $7,000. Card debt, 0. Hospital debt, 0. Auto loan, 0. Liquid total, $19,100. Outstanding debt, only the mortgage on a house you never bought, so nothing. For the first time in 16 years, a screen shows you numbers that face towards you, not away from you. At a weekend pottery class, your sister Nora practically drags you meet a woman named Mara. Mara teaches 7th grade math. She is patient enough to unsettle you. On the 4th date, you tell her about the notebook. She does not laugh. She says, "Show me the August entry." She already knows what compound growth looks like. She has kept her own version since she was 23. By December, the Roth holds $14,600 because the market gave you 9% and you added $2,700 you had sworn you did not have. A coworker named Thomas, who earns $46,000 on the docks, asks what you keep scribbling at lunch. You slide the notebook over to him. You tell him about Ray, the pickup, and the little spreadsheet that updates itself every Friday night at 9. The next Tuesday, Thomas opens his own Roth with $30. This is the first time you have ever taught anyone anything about money. At the end of the year you turn 38, the line reads $23,800. You are sitting at the same kitchen table as that November night. The only light is over the stove. It is 9:51 p.m. The page no longer reads like a confession. It reads like a ledger. This is not about catching up. It is about stopping the leak and laying the first brick. At level 2, the first $20,000 is not money, it is proof. Level 3, the household cushion, age 43. By 43, you have changed jobs once. Your new title, Distribution Operations Lead, pays $81,000 along with a $9,800 bonus and a 401k match equal to 5% of your salary, dollar for dollar. You take every cent of it. By then you are married to Mara, a small afternoon ceremony in the working-class part of a Dayton suburb, in her parents' backyard. The food cost $4,400. The honeymoon was 3 nights in a rented cabin in the Smokies. You drove the pickup. It had passed 198,000 miles. In the second year of the marriage, you combine accounts. On a Sunday in February, you sit at the same table, 2 laptops between you and a pot of coffee. The combined retirement figure is $69,800. Then you add her teacher's pension at 65, a number you never had to earn, one she built across 8 years of paychecks, and the whole thing begins to feel like a structure instead of a hope. The notebook gains a new page titled Household Cushion. On the 3rd line, your father's name. On the 4th, Mara's father. Both receive quiet monthly transfers. $90 for your father's medications, $70 for her father's groceries. Neither one asked. Both of them noticed. In May, your daughter is born. You give her your sister's name, Nora Wren. On a Thursday morning at 3:22, she comes into the world at exactly 8 pounds. After insurance, the hospital bill is $2,880, paid from the household cushion in 2 installments. You do not touch the retirement. You write Nora's birthday in the notebook, right after the cushion page. Beside it, you write a number, 0. Under it, a target, $115,000 by her 18th year. That week, a college savings plan opens with $250 and a standing order of $275 a month. By the December you turn 43, your retirement holds $98,700. Mara's holds $57,400. The college plan, $4,100. The emergency fund, $26,000. Total household assets, $186,200. You felt none of those thresholds pass. You only feel the Sundays, the dull, repeating Sundays when Mara pays the bills at 9 and you log the contributions at 10. It is not about speed. It is automation that has stopped asking your permission. At level 3, money, just like habits, begins to compound without your noticing. Level 4, the turn, age 48, you are 48. Nora Wren is 5. The pickup is gone, sold for $500 to a young man named Cole who needed a vehicle for delivery work, replaced by a 2018 Subaru with 58,000 miles, bought outright with a tax refund. The notebook has 79 filled pages. In April, the market closes the quarter up 6.7%. You added nothing beyond the usual $2,100 a month split across the Roth, the 401k, and Mara's accounts. The combined retirement total climbs from $304,000 to $326,000 in 12 weeks. The market gave you $22,000. You contributed $6,300. For the first time in your life, money earns more than your labor. It is working to feed itself. Mara notices it before you do. One Saturday morning, as the coffee goes cold and Nora Wren scribbles on the back of a takeout menu, she points at the screen and says, "It works without us now." You sit inside that sentence a long while. At 48, you begin something new. On a Tuesday in November, 13 years after the night you opened the notebook, you ride the elevator to the 3rd floor of the county library and teach a free class called Start Where You Are. 5 people come. 5 people come. One is Thomas, now 40, with $44,000 in his Roth. One is a woman named Grace, 37, with nothing yet. She does not cry. She writes everything down. For the next 9 years, you teach 3 Tuesdays a year and never take a dollar. In the December of your 48th year, household assets read like this: retirement $341,000, college plan $33,500, emergency fund $50,000, brokerage $25,200, total $449,700. The mortgage on the small 3-bedroom in the working-class suburb stands at $158,000 at 4.0%. Your father, 81, asks on a Sunday phone call how things are going. You tell him about the class. He is quiet for a while. Then he says, "Your grandfather taught a class just like that at the Lodge Hall in 1959. You never knew. He never knew you would. This is not catching up. This is joining a line that was always flowing. At level 4, the work begins to compound, not only across dollars, but across people. Level 5, the threshold, age 54. You are 54. Nora Wren is 11. Your father dies in February on a freezing morning at 5:18, in the same flat Midwestern town where the notebook was born. He leaves you the house, mortgage-free since 2013, and a single sealed envelope in his own handwriting. Inside is a photograph of you at 5, holding the notebook upside down and a check for $2,500. On the memo line it reads, "For your column, you never cash it. You frame it. The estate clears probate by September. You sell your father's house for $179,000 to a young family planning to fill it with children. You put $139,000 into a brokerage account across 3 index funds, leave $40,000 in a high-yield savings account you label Dad, and touch none of it for any of the things you wanted at 25. In the December of your 54th year, household assets read like this: retirement $604,000, brokerage $181,000, college plan $79,500, emergency fund $63,000, total $927,500. The mortgage has fallen to $88,000. Mara's pension is converted into a hybrid plan. For the first time, you sit down with a flat-fee financial advisor named Renata. She charges a single $2,000 for a comprehensive plan. She tells you that on this path you will retire at 62, maybe 60. Not as praise, as arithmetic. That night, you and Mara sit at the same table left over from that November 19 years earlier. The only light is over the stove. It is 9:51 p.m. Nora Wren is asleep upstairs. Mara says, "We are going to be fine." You write it in the notebook. It is the first time the notebook holds a sentence instead of a number. The next April, Thomas, now 46 with $204,000 in his accounts, takes you to lunch at a corner spot called Marlowe's, 3 exits up the highway. He pays. He says, "You changed my whole life, and next year I want to teach the class with you." You say yes. This is not wealth yet. It is a quiet, structural steadiness. The numbers will keep moving, whether your fear is there or not. At level 5, freedom comes well before the fortune does. Level 6, the inheritance of habit, age 61. You are 61. Nora Wren is 18. The college plan holds $121,000, enough for 4 years at the state university where she has been accepted to study environmental engineering. She does not yet know about her grandfather's framed check. You will give it to her on her first day on campus, along with a notebook in her own name, its first 3 pages already filled in your hand. In the March you turn 61, household assets read like this. Retirement $1,082,000, brokerage $371,000, college plan $121,000, emergency fund $76,000. The small house paid off in January 11 months early is appraised at $388,000. Total net worth $2,038,000. On a Wednesday, you sit with Renata for 90 minutes. She walks you through the withdrawal order, the 4% rule, the Roth conversion ladder, Social Security claimed at 67 instead of 62, and the 3 conversion years in between, all funded from the brokerage. You take notes by hand. The pages no longer look like a confession or a ledger. They look like a map. That night you call Ray. He is 61 too. He retired 5 years ago and now teaches a tax course at a community college near that flat Midwestern town. You tell him you will retire next year at 62. He laughs. He says you started 11 years late and still finished right on time. This is the thing no one tells you about compounding. It does not care when you start. It only cares that you start. You write that line in the notebook. In June, you take Nora Wren and Grace, the woman from that first library night, now 57 with $246,000 in a Roth, to a Tuesday session at the same county library. You teach for the last time. The room is full, 44 people. 4 are under 25. 7 are over 50. When you step out into the parking lot at 8:40 p.m., the lot lights hum over a slow rain. Mara is waiting in the Subaru. Nora Wren is in the back seat, the framed check on her knees, reading the memo line out loud. This is not a finish line. It is a handoff. At level 6, the question is not what you have built. It is who is still building. Level 7, the last entry, age 66. You are 66. Nora Wren is 23. She graduated 4 months ago. Her first job is in water infrastructure, in a small Midwestern town you half remember from your father's stories. She has $5,200 in her Roth. She keeps her own copy of the notebook in the glove box of a 2020 Honda Civic. In the year you turn 66, on the first Tuesday of November, household assets read like this. Retirement $1,648,000, brokerage $628,000, emergency fund and cash $101,000, the mortgage-free small house at $419,000. Total net worth $2,796,000. A 4% draw across the liquid accounts comes to $95,000 a year. By the measure of magazine covers, you are not rich. By the measure of the street you grew up on, you are not even comfortable. You are something else. Something the magazines have no word for. You are unbothered. You and Mara sit at the same kitchen table. The same kitchen, in the same apartment you bought in your 40s for $184,000 with a 30-year loan, now appraised at $419,000 with no one owing a cent on it. The only light is over the stove. It is 11:52 p.m. on a Thursday in November, exactly 30 years after the first line, the night that lands on that same night. You open the notebook. The first pages are pencil. The middle ones are pen. The last few are from Mara's hand, from Nora Wren's hand, from Thomas's hand, from Grace's hand, from Ray's hand. The class never officially ended. It simply spread. You write the closing line of the night. November 9th, total $2,796,000. Opened at $268.40. Time elapsed 30 years. Lessons 1. Under it, you write the lesson. You do not have to start on time. You only have to start. You set down the pencil. You think of your father. You think of the column he titled Reserve. You think of the one he titled for Nora. You think of the photograph of you at 5, holding the notebook upside down, and of how he had been saving for you in pencil before you could read a single word of it. The next morning, at 8:05, Nora Wren calls. She is 23. She is sitting at her own kitchen table in that Midwestern town. She has just opened her first college plan for a child who does not exist yet. She is laughing. She says, "Dad, I started it today. It was only $40." You smile. You tell her that is all it ever was. This is not a fortune. This is a chain that does not break. At level 7, wealth is not what you own. It is what you pass forward. Loop closer. It is 11:52 p.m. on a Thursday in November. In a small apartment in the working-class part of a Dayton suburb, the only light is over the stove. The dishes are left from a Sunday meal. Rent clears on the 1st. A 25-year-old woman sits at the kitchen table, her phone in her hand. The screen shows a balance of $194. She has no retirement account. She carries $5,400 on a credit card. She does not yet know that this is a starting line. She is sure it is a wall. In the bottom drawer, under a box of birthday candles, sits a hardback notebook in worn gray cloth that her grandfather kept. She has not opened it. She does not know there is a column titled Cushion. She does not know there is one titled for her. She does not know it has been waiting for her in pencil since 1997. She knows none of it yet, but the chain has already begun. The arithmetic is already moving. The notebook is already open. It always begins right there. The first column always reads wages. The second always reads cushion. The third, when the time comes, always reads someone's name.